This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling. And I want to welcome everybody from Talk Red as well as LFA TV. This is our first day on Talk Red, which I think is awesome, Jay. It's a really great up and coming network that already has a ton of followers on Facebook and in Rumble, Getter, and all that. So we got LFA TV and we got Talk Red. That's why you can see the new nameplate we got down there with both logos. So it's great to be joining another network, but we're not leaving LFA TV. We love LFA TV. So we got both going here, man.
Yeah, awesome. Two great networks, man. How lucky are we?
Absolutely. And, it allows us to be able to get the show out to more people. And ultimately, that's the goal because, our job is just to inform people. That's what we want to do, inform people and give them the information that they're not getting from the mainstream media. We might cover the same topics, but they're not going to give you the shit that we're going to give you. Okay.
No.
So who cares if we cover the same topics as the mainstream media? We're going to tell you and give you the information they're not giving you. That's the point of this show.
Yeah, and also we're going to cover things that are out there, but definitely not in the mainstream media. That's for sure.
No. We cover a lot of the conspiracies too, and honestly, most of the conspiracies are correct. So you'll find a lot of things that are done here first before the mainstream media actually catches on. They catch on like 6 months later. We've had New York Post put our stories on their front page. I don't know how many times. How many times, Jay? At least 5.
Yeah, at least. And they steal your headlines. They stole a couple of headlines from you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy what they do. Anyways. All right. So real quick, first, though, I want to talk about our sponsor real quick, maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. Scan the QR code at the top right or go to maxassociates.etsy.com. You do not want to miss out. They are the place that has the absolute best patriotic apparel and pride gifts, mugs, phone cases, hats, flags, bags, shirts, hoodies. I mean, they've got excellent stuff, and it's all about patriotism, all about America. And right now, since you're watching Secret America, you can get 20% off your order and free shipping anywhere in the United States. Just type in the code SECRET20. That's SECRET20. You will not get a better deal than that anywhere else in the entire country. So SECRET20, make sure you guys check it out. Also we have Secret America gear, which is really cool. There's been people that have bought hats and shirts, mugs. Someone bought I think a phone case or something, but we have some excellent gear to support the show. So represent the show, support the mission. SecretAmericaLive.com is exactly how you do that. You can scan the QR code at the top right for that also. And then, we have my book, By Design, The First Black President. This is the book that if you've ever wanted to know what went into the conspiracies surrounding him, what actually happened. Everybody knows the general conspiracy, but nobody knows what actually happened. Nobody knows how he got to where he was. Nobody knows the actual story about the spouse and the kids and the birth certificate. This is a political thriller that will blow your mind. I guarantee it, because it's like a movie playing in your head. Not a history book that talks at you, but a movie playing in your head that allows you to be with the characters as the events unfold. You get to rise from birth all the way to the presidency. You get to rise with Obama. You will take the entire journey with him and all the conspiracies, all the backroom deals, all the shady networks. You will get to see it all on By Design, The First Black President. All right. So, the first thing I wanted to say, Jay, is did you hear about, and this is crazy for anybody that has not heard about this. This is something that you're not going to get anywhere else. There are now tests being conducted in Ukraine of autonomous AI drones. Okay, they're autonomous AI drones. It's called Terminator mode, and I'm not making that up. It's called Terminator mode. Okay, they are quadcopter drones that flow to a frontline area. They seek out and strike targets without ongoing human control or video feed. All right. Follow-up drones reportedly found dead Russian soldiers, leading to the conclusion that the autonomous systems caused the deaths. Broader advances include AI-enabled terminal guidance, target locking that continues after signal loss, and plans to expand autonomous capabilities, while official statements often emphasize human oversight for final decisions. I mean, it's incredible, Jay, because now you can just basically it's like a bloodhound dog. You know, it sniffs something and then it has that scent that it can go seek it out.
Yeah.
That's what this is. You know, you show it a picture of a Russian soldier's uniform. You know, it can go seek it out and kill whoever it wants. It makes the decisions. It fires the missiles. It does everything, Jay. But the problem is with these kind of machines that are not controlled by discretion. They don't have discretion. Okay. So there could be a lot of mistakes here, deaths that are not supposed to be deaths.
Yeah.
You know, big problems.
I was just going to say, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, I wouldn't want it just because the liability, Jay. I mean, you would be liable for, I mean, this obviously could not be deployed anywhere but military. You can't use this for police. You cannot have autonomous AI drones for police, you know, giving people tickets, arresting people. You can't do that because the liability would be through the roof.
Well, yeah, if they keep going with flock cameras, I mean, who knows? But no, you're right. It would be crazy. It's already crazy. Flock cameras are already crazy. And that's one thing police are using that we disagree with. And I was, for those of you on Talk Red for the first time, I was a police officer for 25 and a half years. I think these flock cameras are crazy. Did you see, Jack, the flock cameras that were outside of the gun range in Florida?
Yeah, these things are insane, Jay. And also, I'm glad you brought that up, though, because there's a quick thing I wanted to show you. Yesterday, 6 former Savannah Police Department employees are under criminal investigation after being fired over the alleged misuse of flock surveillance cameras. Okay, 6 former police department. I got a video real quick I want to show you guys because this is what happens when flock surveillance, which surveils things 24/7, falls into the wrong hands. This is insane.
This morning, 6 former Savannah Police Department employees, including 4 officers, are now under criminal investigation after being fired for allegedly misusing these controversial surveillance cameras made by the company Flock.
Totally honest, I'm disappointed. I'm pissed off about it.
The employees allegedly using the system to make personal searches involving family and acquaintances. The high-tech AI-powered cameras read license plates and store that data for police departments to use. Over 120,000 deployed nationwide to help fight crime. They're on streetlights, bridges, and highways. But backlash is growing amid rising reports of misuse. Dozens of officers now charged or accused of using the technology inappropriately.
Did you hear what they said? Dozens of officers have been accused or charged with misusing this stuff. And Jay, I would be okay with flock cameras if they didn't store anything. Like, say they saw somebody with a license plate, they call it in, then they erase it. It automatically erases, Once they call it in, if it disappears, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is then you can't use it for an investigation, if it's gone immediately. How long does... All right,
it's supposed to be help, not a fucking crutch.
No, a license plate. Okay, I could get that. License plate go... Actually, Jack, I don't see a way around it. They suck.
They're using it as a crutch is what they're doing.
They
want to do their job for them.
No, I think they all suck. Listen, there's cameras all over the place. The difference between the flock cameras and, say, the cameras that you're going to see all over the place on the street, those aren't being used in real time to report things to the police. Yes, there could be something that happens on the street where cameras or a traffic camera or something catches something, and it could be used in an investigation later on. They go, oh, there's a camera. Let's get that data and use that in our investigation to see if we can get to the bottom of what happened. The flock cameras are in real time transmitting information to police in their cars, in their headquarters, or wherever their dispatch is. And that information is being put out instantly. That's why you're having so many false hits where maybe it's reading a license plate wrong. Maybe it caught the wrong number. Maybe it hasn't been taken out of the system. And the flag, whatever flag was on that plate, hasn't been taken out of the system, even though it was supposed to have happened. That's the problem with these flock cameras. That's the big issue. And what's happening is it's billions of images per day going into this system. Chances are you're going to have some mistakes when you have that many things going into the system at once. It's just impossible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cajun lady, I want to thank you. She said, I'm enjoying your book by Design, Jack. I'm on chapter 16. It's honestly hard to put down. It's that good. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Right now, it's got 20 reviews so far on Amazon. They're all 5 stars. So I want to thank everybody that's read the book. I really appreciate it. Actually, our good friend, Dr. Robert Malone, purchased a signed copy yesterday. So I will be signing that. We just got it in today. So I'll be signing that and giving him a personal message and then shipping it out to him. So I can't wait to hear his thoughts on it as well. But Jay, talking about the drones, okay? Listen to this. There is right now, there is now a Tornial, I guess is what it's called, Tornial. It's Tornial. That's the name of it. Tornial has autonomous micro drones. They are 40 grams. 40 grams, okay? It's a 40-gram autonomous micro drone that completed its first mid-air kill of a flying moth. And why is this important? Because it's showing that it can kill things, not just it's not really doesn't the moths and stuff is not what matters. None of that matters. What it's showing is that it can use deadly weapons at that size. That's what it's talking about. Listen to this, okay? It says it uses phased array microphones and propeller collisions for chemical-free insect elimination. That's what it's doing with this here, okay? And it says with one drone designed to patrol up to 5 acres. So these drones can be autonomous and kill bugs that are coming after your plants, coming after your farm. 5 acres it can patrol. That's pretty freaking amazing if you ask me. But Jay, these kind of things always get misused, man. So what happens when they start using them for, for hits? What happens when people start buying them, using them for hits on people? Very easy.
How big are these drones?
40 grams. That's what? That's ounce and a half.
So they're tiny little things.
Yeah, they're micro drones. They're like this. They probably look like a bumblebee.
That's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But stuff like this always gets misused. Always.
Everything, right. Anything that's good, somebody will find a way to corrupt it and use it for things it's not supposed to be used for. Of course.
And this is dangerous. You can't see it coming. Someone shoots you in the neck with say one of those, those darts that the CIA made in the 60s that when it shoots you, you get a heart attack. Say they attach it to one of those, it shoots you in the neck, it flies off, nobody sees it, nobody's gonna think that was a drone that just killed somebody. So you now have a death that nobody will ever solve.
Well, we have those anyway. Now it's even easier.
Yeah, now it's way easier.
Oh my God.
And it's scary.
I mean, it is amazing technology. I mean, you could unleash these things in neighborhoods to kill mosquitoes, like you said, to whatever.
And that's what they're for, Jay.
Right.
That's their purpose. But that's not going to be their purpose for long.
Who's the people controlling who gets these drones?
Absolutely. Well, the co-founder, Alex Desant, he aims to cut mosquito control costs dramatically and curb diseases like malaria, though
West Nile.
But he said replies note potential risks to non-target insects and ecosystems. These are autonomous, Jay. So say you set it to kill mosquito, you set it to kill bugs, and what happens if it kills other things? The family pet, maybe it kills a human, who knows? But eventually they will be used for that purpose. You know that.
Yeah, something's going to go wrong. This is another one. What could possibly go wrong thing? I mean,
we're not ready. AI is not good enough for autonomous machines yet.
I agree with you. We just type something into an AI and see how many times it gets it wrong the first couple of times. Happens.
You ever tried to create an image?
Oh, yeah. And forget it if you try to change the image a little bit. Then the whole thing just goes to hell. But yeah, it's always unforeseen or unintended consequences. And that's what we're running into. This technology is expanding so quickly that we're just going to have to, I guess, roll with the punches and I think kind of hope for the best with a lot of it. But of
That's
course,
the problem. It can't be stopped.
No, it can't be stopped because it's national security is what it is. You have to win the AI race. It's a national security issue. So
absolutely,
but along the way, there's going to be problems. There just is. So get ready. That's all. Get ready, everybody.
Absolutely. And thank you, Raina, also for your lovely comment about the book. But yeah, it's true. I mean, there's nothing we can do to stop any of this stuff because you can't stop the advancement of technology. You just can't. There's just no way to do that unless, everything goes dark. You would have to literally cut everything, go dark, start back to the Stone Age, and then maybe you could stop the advancement for maybe 10, 20 years because the people that already know how to do it can probably get it back together after quite a while. But so that's, it's not going to stop. So again, we have to hope that the people that do control it, maybe it'll be like a controlled substance. Nobody's allowed to get it without, federal this or that or whatever. So I don't know. But those things, it can be dangerous.
Well, the government should be doing what it does best, regulate, because they're good at that. So maybe they could, they could maybe do something and, finally put their regulation power to good use with some of this, and stuff like this. If they overregulate it a little bit, like these things, I kind of don't got a problem with that for the time being until we find the right, actually, the sweet spot. But if you're ever going to overregulate, maybe overregulate these drones. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're going to overregulate, it would be nice to overregulate something that needs to be regulated. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, Jay, you want to hear something interesting? I never looked at AOC as someone that could be hot. You know what I mean? Never looked at her like. Now, she just split up with her fiance, Riley Roberts. They just broke up today. Okay? And I think that's why she put out this particular video, and it's not even anything of her trying to be sexy or anything like that. It's just interesting how it came about. I'm going to pull up the video in just a second, but honestly, like I said, I never thought of her as a sexual being, someone that could be sexy. You know what I mean? She just doesn't seem like that type of person. But after seeing the fact that when she broke up with her fiance and then seeing this video that she came out with, I don't know if I can find it now. For some reason, it's not showing anywhere, which is weird. I hate when you have something and then it doesn't show anywhere after you have it. It's angering. You bookmark something and then it doesn't show, after you do that. So but I'm sure I can find it in a second. But she split up. Okay, here it goes. Here it is. So I want you to take a look at this. Again, I've never found her as an attractive woman, but this is actually pretty attractive to me. Maybe it's just me. And just because I hate her politics doesn't mean I don't think this is attractive. So take a look. Look at how she looks.
Strength training and lifting session, and let's go. So,
and a lot of people are talking about, the shape that she's in and, how she looks and stuff like that. The fact that she did this, because she just broke up with her fiance, and I'm not saying that I like her politics. In fact, I don't like her politics at all. I'm just saying, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think she should maybe go and get out of politics and model gym wear. I think that the world would be a better place if she got out of politics and did
Honestly,
that.
I think she could do that if she wanted
go
to.
ahead.
She's in really good shape.
Please go right ahead and do us all a favor and go away. She's not going to. I'm just wishful
Let's
thinking
skip the
right
politics part of it. Let's leave the politics part of it out. Just look, just basic physical attributes, She doesn't look that bad, actually. When you see her, she looks like she's in great shape. She's not an ugly person.
Well, no, she's an ugly person. She might not look ugly all the time. She's an ugly person, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you got to leave the politics out of it for a second. Just look at her.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, like I said, she looks decent in the gym wear. Go model gym wear. Go ahead,
I'm on my way to do my last strength training and lifting session, and let's go.
Nails on a chalkboard. Nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, but again, you gotta sometimes you gotta separate things so you can see things clearly. And when you separate the politics, you can see she's an attractive woman. She's an attractive woman.
I like what Raina said. She's just so stupid it makes her unattractive. So thank you, Raina. I like that one.
And that's true. You just got to be able to separate the things. That's why when you watch a video like that, you mute it. You just mute it. And just watch it.
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. AOC is more annoying on mute than she is when you hear her. And I've been saying this for years.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it makes sense to me because when I say I'm scrolling anything, X, TikTok, and I see her with yelling or so, I find her to be so annoying even when she's not speaking that I can't deal with it. I'm sorry, Jack.
I think it's your perception of her in your mind because
it's
when you
reality.
see her yelling, you're probably imagining what she's saying or what she's talking about.
Yeah. And I
So-
know it's something stupid, and I know it's something destructive to the United States of America. So yeah, you're right. It is. I'm imagining what she's saying. She's a moron, and she's a dangerous moron, because there are a lot of people that for some reason think that she's somebody that they're going to vote for. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
a
know why.
complete idiot.
I don't know why they vote for her.
I don't
But, you
either.
know, I was just saying that, you know, when you separate politics, you can see that she's not, you know, she's an attractive woman if you can separate the politics out of there. And that's just, you know, that is, and honestly, believe it or not, everybody else felt the same way on the post. I was shocked. I figured people would be like you did and say, oh, I hate her politics, you know, that kind of thing. But just trying to separate the two. And, you know, she's physically attractive. She's not hot. There's a difference. I mean, there's scales, you know.
I'm going to go to that post. I'll be the person on that post that says I can't. I'll be the one. I'll go. I'll be the one that wrecks her on the post. I don't care. I'm not going to. I'm not simping.
That's the thing,
I'm not going to go simp for AOC. I'm not doing it.
No, but you got to be able to separate things once in a while. You got to compartmentalize, because this particular video has nothing to do with her politics. And it's not like you're saying, oh, I love her politics all of a sudden. You're a guy. You can see what's attractive. It is what it is.
Listen, I got to be honest. She's not always attractive looking either.
Not always. No, she's one of those. You ever see that Seinfeld episode where that woman?
No, I told you. I told you. I thought that was the worst show of all time.
You are out of your mind.
I've heard that before.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Worst.
Oh my God.
Worst show of
all
time.
Jay,
not funny.
Back in the 90s, when there were no computers, there were no social media. You know how many people watched the final episode of Seinfeld live?
I know.
75 million people watched the final episode of a 30-minute sitcom live. Yep. 75 million. That show is one of the funniest and best written shows ever, because mostly it's got to do with the cast. The cast is brilliant. Casting is great.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld is not a good actor.
I never said he was, but the show is good. The show is really good. They make up the ones that are good actors, the Kramers, the George Costanzas. They make up for anything that he lacks. So it ends up being a great show.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the minority, the vast minority on this opinion. I have been for 30 years. I've been saying.
Have you ever watched the whole show? Seinfeld is a great show.
Yes, I've watched, and I've watched enough to know that it's just not for me. I'm one of those people. I'm very rare, but I'm one of those people where I just did not like Seinfeld. I felt like this conversation we've had so far tonight is funnier than anything I've ever watched on Seinfeld. That's how I feel about it.
Well, anyways, back to what I was talking about. In an episode of Seinfeld, there's this woman who, in the right light, she's beautiful. You know, she looks really hot. But then when he takes her to when they're going down to a certain area, she looks totally different. It's like 1 minute she's beautiful with the lipstick and the stuff. The next minute she doesn't have any makeup on and she looks hideous. They call her Two-Face or something like that. But it's crazy as hell because he only wants to go on a date with her in the back booth of the coffee shop, because that's the only place she always looks hot. You know what I mean? So just like AOC, the only place she will always look hot is in gym wear with a ponytail. That's it.
But hold on. We're spending a lot of time in AOC, and let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
She's taking that video from up here, right? She's doing high. She's
Everybody
up high.
does that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know why?
But you can see her. You can see her stomach too. You can see she's in good shape.
That's what makes everybody look the best. There's always up high, and I'm guilty of
it
too.
Who wants to do a video that makes you look the worst?
I'm saying she does not look good. I've seen AOC in jeans. She does not look good in a pair of jeans to me.
Much better shape now. If you watch the video, you'll actually see all the way down to the bottom of her stomach. She is in really good shape now. Maybe she lost weight. Maybe she took Ozempic. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really care about AOC. I was just saying that as a male, you know, you can separate politics and find someone physically attractive while finding them mentally repulsive.
Maybe she's maybe the egg freezing, which is repulsive, what she's doing, in my opinion, with the egg freezing. Give me
just
a break.
weird. It's weird. I don't know about
weird.
Repulsive, but it's weird.
It's to me, it's really we talked about this a little last night. It's theater. It's disingenuous.
Well,
AOC doesn't want kids. This is a bunch of crap. That's why I can't stand about her so much. She's so disingenuous. It's all fake. The whole thing's a casting, just like Mamdani's casted, just like El Sayed is casted, just like this moron up in Wisconsin that's going to win tonight, Jack. Francesca Wong, the one who hates Thanksgiving. Yeah,
and Mike Lindell's not going to win his thing either, apparently, which is a shame.
He torpedoed himself.
Yeah.
If he loses, he torpedoed himself talking about amnesty. That's a 4-letter word, Mike.
Yeah, that was really stupid. But Jay, have you seen what's been going on in Massachusetts? The governor signed the bill to allow abortions up to birth. And do you know how different abortions are done? I'm gonna pull up a video, and this is gonna be graphic, but it's gonna be, it's a cartoon video. It's not you're not gonna see this actually happen, but I'm gonna show you all how different types of abortions are actually done. And then we're going to tell you that these abortions in Massachusetts are allowed to be done up until the day you give birth. So imagine a child the day before you give birth, this happening to that child. I will show you in just a moment, Jay. You can go ahead.
No. I was all over this all day with this governor, Maura Healey. And the sickening thing about it, forget it, the law is sick. But did you see when she signed the bill, the people around her, the women around her clapping and laughing? It was like they just won the lottery. You're murdering babies, and you people are clapping like you did something good. No, you're evil, and you will have to answer for it one day when you try to move on to the next life. That's how I feel about it. It's disgusting. And this woman says she's a Catholic. She says she's a Christian. Really?
All right. Jay, I am going to show you guys the different methods of abortion for when the baby is, fully grown, when the baby has come to terms. This is going to be graphic. It's bad. And it's not, Deb said, Jack, you're a writer. You can separate stuff. I can't. I'm also not a writer. That's funny. But yeah, no. Some people can't compartmentalize and separate stuff. Doesn't matter. It's fine. It's over with. But this right here, the abortion thing right here, we are going to show you, and it's a cartoon. It's not a cartoon, but it's an illustration of the different types of abortions when the baby is, ready to be born, when it's fully up to term. So it's going to be graphic, but again, it's an illustration. So guys, let's check this out. It's going to be rough. So here we go.
Once the cervix has been stretched open, the suction tube is placed inside. The suction machine is turned on, and pale yellow amniotic fluid surrounding the baby is suctioned out through the catheters. The baby's bones and skull are too strong to be torn apart by suction alone. This is a Sofer clamp. When it gets a hold of something, it does not let go. The abortionist uses this clamp to grasp an arm or leg.
Is it sick?
Once he has a firm grip, the abortionist pulls
Are you kidding me?
in order to tear the limb from the baby's body. One by one, the rest of the limbs are removed, along with the intestines, the spine, and the heart.
And this all happens while the baby, and you notice that the baby has arms and legs and a head. This is all this is a full-term baby, and this is how it's done. They rip its legs off, they rip its arms off, they suck out the amniotic fluid so the baby can't, breathe or any of that stuff. So
it's sick. It's just sick. This stuff should be shown on TV so people know.
Extracting the baby's head, which is about the size of a large plum at 20 weeks. The head is grasped and crushed. The abortionist knows he has crushed the skull when a white substance comes out of the cervix. This was the baby's brains. The abortionist then removes skull pieces. He removes the placenta and any leftover parts of the baby with a curette, scraping the lining of the uterus for any remaining tissue. Once all the parts have been accounted for, the abortion is complete.
That is what happens on just one type of abortion. That's not all abortions. That's just one type of abortion, and it is sick. It is rough. It is hard to watch, and it's weird. It's like a dismemberment. It's like a serial killer dismembering, a person out in the world. That's exactly what's happening. Only this person's not making a clean cut, which is obviously still painful and horrible. This person's ripping the legs, arms, neck, head, whatever off, whatever it can grasp. It's ripping it off while the baby is suffocating, by the way.
That's insane. This is barbaric. And people that do this, first of all, they should be arrested. The person doing it should be arrested. And the people allowing it to happen to themselves, they should be arrested too, because it's murder. I'm sorry. I don't care. Man. I don't care what anybody says. I can say it because I feel like saying it. It's murder. And people that do this have something wrong with their brain. And I'm going to say that. And these women behind this governor, I want to know how many of them have kids. Because if you have kids and you still think this is a good thing, you're even more sick in the head. That's how I feel about it. And it's disgusting. But as disgusting as that is what should be shown to people so they actually know, the ones who are in favor of this, so they actually know what the hell happens and what it really means. You wouldn't do that to an animal. You would be thrown in jail, and you should be. But it's okay to do that to a human being. And Jack, they got to square this one with me. In a lot of places, if a mother was at term or near term and the mother was murdered, they count it as a double homicide. So now how do we square that one?
It depends on what place it is, because if it's a place that has that abortion, they still consider it a person. They just don't consider it murder under abortion. Because again, Jay, everybody else, laws are do not legislate morality. These are not laws that are moral. These are arbitrary lines drawn by an entity. Okay, the government is the entity. They draw arbitrary lines. They're not scientific lines, and they're not moral lines. That's why when like you'll smoke weed, right? You smoke weed and it's illegal, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you smoke weed, it's illegal." But then as soon as it's legalized, "Oh, you smoke weed, that's cool, it's legal." People see the government legislating their own morality. You don't actually have morality. You go by what the government says. If abortion is right, then you feel fine. If murder is wrong, what if murder was right? Then all the see, that's what I'm talking about with the alcohol. Alcohol right now, everybody can take a drink of alcohol and feel fine. Oh, it's legal. But during Prohibition, if you took a drink of alcohol, everybody would look at you like you're crazy. What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. See, Jay, people equate government laws and government arbitrary lines to right and wrong.
I'm not. I'm saying I don't care if that's a law. You should be arrested if you do it. The law that's morally reprehensible, whether it's a law or not. That's my point.
Yeah, of course. But there's nothing that you're not going to be arrested for. You can call. You can. I know that's what you would like,
but that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's a law. It's that state. I mean, the state makes. I
get it. They can make
the state
law.
makes their own stuff.
But you know what else they'll have to do? Those people will have to face their maker at a certain point. And you know what? I hope they end up someplace really hot. And that's where they belong. That is, if you watch that and you don't have a problem with that, I got to be honest with you. I don't want to know you.
Well, I want to show you one more thing.
And there's something wrong with your brain. Go ahead.
I want to show you one more thing. This is an actual filmed one. It's only 7 seconds long. You're not going to see everything, but take a look at this. Okay, this is filmed. You can see he's suffocating right now. Okay, then they grab him with the forceps and try to pull his body out. You see? Watch. There's the forceps pulling on his leg, pulling him out. You see that? Then he starts to come out. That's what happens right there. That is an actual filmed abortion on a sonogram, I believe, an ultrasound machine. So, it is what it is. That is it. And a lot of times, Jay, in full-term abortions, the baby will come out alive. It will come out alive. It will come out crying. And this is the truth. You can look it up. They chop its head off.
These people are demons. Flat out
They chopped its head off, Jay.
Yeah,
they pulled it out alive. It's
demons.
crying. It's crying. It's screaming. The abortion didn't go the way it was supposed to. So they have a baby that's alive. They legally are allowed to kill that baby because it was supposed to be killed inside the womb. So they either suffocate it or chop its head smooth off.
How far away are we from a blue state passing a law that says a perfectly healthy baby that comes out can just be killed? We're not far. They've tried it. I know in Virginia they wanted to go.
Well, that's kind of what this is.
Well,
honestly,
I'm talking not even attempted to be aborted at all. Yeah. Oh, it came out. You know what, Doc? I changed my mind. I don't want it. Get rid of it for me. How far away are we from this?
Actually, not only are we not far away from that, but we're also not far away from self-induced suicide machines, like in Sweden or in Canada, where you have depression, suicide machine. Oh, you have your ankles hurt, suicide machine. They push the suicide machine in Canada for any ailment you have. If you are unhealthy in any way, suicide machine. And we're not that far away. And if they're allowing abortions all the way up to term, eventually it's going to get to the point where they allow them, let's say, up to 10 minutes after term, because Jay, it's an arbitrary line. If the baby was going to be born tomorrow, you pull it out today and it's still screaming and crying because the abortion was incorrect. then what's the difference between killing it then and killing it when it's born? These are the government has arbitrary lines that are not moral. They're not moral lines, but everybody in America, Jay, seems to set their morals based on the government's arbitrarily drawn laws.
I think with certain things, but I don't want to draw the equivalency between alcohol and abortion.
What are you talking about?
Well, when you're talking, it's okay because the government says it's okay. No, this is different than a prohibition.
No. It's not. It's the same thing as laws, Jay. I'm not talking about you saying it's okay. Just like when people, when alcohol was illegal and then they made it legal. So a lot of people say, you know what, it's still not okay because that's your own moral standing, and that's great. Most people don't have that though. Most people are like, okay, the state of Massachusetts says I can do it up to birth, then it must be okay. Well, it's just like when a doctor hands you a bottle of pills. These pills came from the doctor, so they gotta be okay. The doctor wouldn't steer me wrong. The doctor will give me the right dose. I'm not gonna get addicted to this. This isn't a drug. It came from the doctor. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, when you're talking about killing a baby,
see, that's your moral line, though.
No,
that's
but who doesn't if you don't have that moral line, I don't want to know you, and I think you're sick.
Well, that's why I say, Jay, most of the people have their moral compass is connected to the government legislation. So you might find a lot of people in Massachusetts think it's okay because it's legal, whereas a lot of people in a red state think it's not okay because it's not legal. A lot of people, their compass points towards the government's own laws, and people don't realize the government does not make laws for moral reasons. And that's the thing. It's not moral, neither law. Whether weed, heroin, whatever is illegal, whether abortion is legal or illegal, they don't make those decisions based on morality.
I don't know what to say. You're a demon if you make a law that this is okay. So these people that are doing this, whether whatever it is, they're demons. There's something, and you don't belong in any position of power. This is different than any other law. This is different than any other law to me. You're condoning murder. Murder has never been okay.
No, it's different than a law.
Yeah. In any civilized society, murder has never been okay. So this is murder. This is government sanctioned murder.
And that's true. But when I'm talking about people that have their morality tied to the government's laws, they can't I would say it's probably 2/3 of the country at least. And like your morality is not tied to the government's laws. So you could see, even though it's legal, that it's wrong. But a lot of people, most people, 66% of people will say, you know, if the government would never steer me wrong, if this happens, then it's legal. And Jay, that's the problem. They can't separate morality, like say, okay, my moral compass is with the government on all this, but not this. They can't do that. It's either your moral compass is with the government or it's not. And a lot of people, Jay, that's why you'll see people say, no, you know, it's not okay to smoke right here because the government says it's not. But, you know, yesterday you were allowed to smoke there and everybody thought it was okay. Now you're not allowed to smoke there because the government put up a sign. It's the same thing. They base their morality on governmental legislation.
I gotta disagree. I don't see it. I see it differently. I see what you're saying differently though. And we can move on because this is
well, that's because you're coming at it from a moral standpoint. No, but is what I'm saying.
I separate this from other laws and other rules and other regulations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's you though. Yeah. Your morals are not tied to government legislation. I'm talking about the 66% of people whose morals are tied for they don't pick and choose. Everything that the government says is go. Everything the government says is illegal. So I'm not talking about your particular case and the way you feel and think about it is because your mind and your morals are not tied to government legislation. 66% of the people in the country are, and they don't pick and choose which is moral. They just say the government says it's okay, so I think it's okay. And that's, Jay, you know, that's a lot. That's most of the, you've seen it. You've seen it out there. I'm sure you've seen many examples of it out there.
But hold on. So they're going to, every law that the government passes or every law that's in place, they're going to be like, okay, because the government says it. No, they're not that way. There are people that are good with what we just watched and who hate every other law and want to break them all the time.
Yeah, But that's not what I'm talking about. I said 66%. There's still 34% of people out there that don't have their morality tied to government legislation. But I'm saying 2/3 of the people do. Whatever the government says is okay, they believe is okay.
All right. We can move on. We can move on. It just makes me sick. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It should make everybody sick, but whatever.
It should. But like I said, it's crazy. All right. So apparently, Jay, get this. There is infighting in the socialist LA mayoral candidate thing going on right now. Nathia Rahman and Karen Bass are running for mayor. Well, right now, there is some severe infighting. Get this, Jay. LA mayoral candidate Nathia Rahman was removed as chair of the city's homelessness committee by Mayor Karen Bass. And then she accuses Mayor Karen Bass of trying to punish her for challenging her. I gotta say, this is wonderful. I like to see it.
This is the first we've heard of Nathia Rahman since the election.
Yeah, that's true. Never hear about it.
Yeah, since she was declared like the winner with the cheating, how they beat Spencer Pratt. This is the first we've really heard of Nathia Rahman. Like,
absolutely,
the whole thing was this fake hoax to have another socialist run with against Karen Bass, because either way they're going to get a socialist.
That's why I like to see them fighting, though, Jay.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
Two idiots, two socialists fighting. Is this for real though, or is this another game or some other sideshow?
No, she was removed from the chair. She, for the longest time, she used that as her claim to, I have experience, because she was the chairman of the city's homelessness initiative. But now Mayor Karen Bass, after she challenged her, now that it's just her and her, she doesn't want her to be able to say that anymore. So she removed her as chair and Mayor Karen Bass had this power over Rahman, and she removed her from it because she doesn't want Rahman to be able to say she's the chairman of the city's homelessness, because she thinks it makes her look good, even though the homeless problem in LA is out of this world. I mean, why you would even want to say you're the chairman of a homelessness committee is beyond me. People will laugh at you, but she was removed by her because apparently Mayor Karen Bass views that as a prestigious slot to be in, and she doesn't want Rahman there.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing you just did. I would say let her claim that she's in charge of the homelessness, because it's awful.
It's nuts, man. I don't get it.
Well, who's Karen Bass gonna put in charge of that now? What rocket scientist is Karen Bass gonna put in charge of the homeless initiative now in Los Angeles? To take care of Skid Row and everything else. What an absolute mess! I'm coming to the conclusion: if you're voting for a Democrat, these modern day Democrats that we're saying, I'm going with the same thing we were just talking about with Massachusetts. There's something not registering in your head.
No,
there's just not.
No.
How can you vote for Karen Bass or Nathia Rahman? How? Gavin Newsom, this lunatic Wong, Mom Donnie. How are you voting for these people? What? Something's not right.
No, and that's why I said that's why 66% of people in America get their morality from government legislation, because they're not all right. A lot of people have mental health issues. So, Jay, I'm going to move on because there is something awesome that I want to talk about. Guess what? Remember in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, people would be like, by the year 2000, we'll have flying cars. Everybody be flying everywhere. Take a listen to this. Governor Ron DeSantis announced that Florida will actively test electric air taxis by the end of 2026 at the SunTrax facility in Polk County. Testing will use the state's first dedicated vertiport-equipped track for vertical takeoff and landing of electric aircraft, funded partly by repurposed federal EV charger money to explore passenger transport like Tampa to Orlando flights, bypassing I-4 traffic. I think it's awesome. Jay, it would be awesome. Awesome.
I'm renaming this episode, and the name of this episode is What Can Possibly Go Wrong?
Yeah, well, I gotta say, they're testing it now, and if they can get it to the point where you can bypass the I-4 traffic, could you imagine?
Yeah, yes, that would be great. But unless Doc Brown is driving that car, I'm not going in, because he knew how to drive that car. and I want it filled with garbage like Mr. Fusion. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
want the fuel
I
to be
think what would
garbage.
happen is, I mean, they would have to have some kind of safety parameters, make sure it wouldn't go high like a plane. It would go around buildings. It probably wouldn't go super high, but it would be high enough to avoid the traffic. It wouldn't have to go over the traffic. It could go over the trees or something, you know? And honestly, I think it would be, if they can get it right, if they can get it correct, if they can get it to where it's not going to die. If they have backup systems, like a backup parachute, if this has backup engines or backup whatever, to where if there's something wrong with it, it'll immediately go down and land. That, I think it would be awesome to have something like this. I would love to be able to be in an air taxi, and it's going to be way cheaper than a flight, and you bypass all the traffic.
Until there's a bunch of air taxis, and then there's air taxi traffic.
No. I would assume if there's air taxis, they could go above and below each other rather than behind each other.
Add it to the title. What could possibly go wrong? I'm telling you, that's the name of this episode, because we've talked about so many things. What could possibly go wrong? The mini drones, the autonomous drones shooting soldiers. Now we're talking about air taxis that are flying around above traffic and above neighborhoods. Oh my God.
But for this, though, it's what could go, it's also what could possibly go right. Imagine if this goes the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're testing it rather than just allowing people to, get on and try it. They're testing it at the vertiport. So I think it would be awesome. It would be a great way to bypass traffic. You've been sitting on an interstate, not moving for 5 hours. Okay, 5 hours. You get to go to 5 miles in 5 hours. Okay, on the I-4 traffic. A drive that should take you 2 hours takes you 10 hours. But when you're in the air taxi, it takes you 30 minutes.
Yeah. They can test it all they want. And if it works, but there's going to be accidents.
Well, there's accidents with everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
It's just another thing that's gonna have accidents. So I'm just saying, it's great, but everybody just get ready, because there's gonna be problems with this stuff.
There's problems with everything, but this is this is a great thing for people, especially. It's gonna work a lot more than it doesn't work. Otherwise, it wouldn't be put out. So, I mean,
wait a minute. Hold on.
You
Jack,
can say the same thing with cars, Jay. There's accidents all the time.
That's not like you. All of a sudden, you're trusting the government that it's going to work more than it doesn't.
Not trusting, Jay. Everything that you eat, drink, or do is based on the government's testing.
I'm breaking your chops.
Yeah. So, I mean, but honestly, and if I would trust anybody in the government, I think it would be Ron DeSantis in Florida's government.
I like Ron DeSantis. I think he's a great governor.
The Florida government's incredibly good. So if I could trust anybody, it would be them. But I mean, basically, I just think it would be a great thing. There's accidents with everything. There's accidents with cars, airplanes, everything. There's going to be a few, but if the majority gets you to where you want to go and a lot faster, I think that would be a great thing.
I agree. If it can be done in the right way and as safely as possible, hey, let's go for it. I say absolutely. But again, oh man, I don't know. Like you said, are we ready? Are we ready?
I don't know if we're ready for something now, Jay. I don't know if we're ready for us to be able to do it ourselves. If it's an autonomous vehicle, maybe, but ourselves, I don't think people are ready to get behind the wheel of that. I just don't think so.
Oh, so you would trust the autonomous before you would trust somebody behind the wheel?
Absolutely.
Really?
Because the autonomous would have backup systems. It would know what's wrong with its system. It would know how high to fly, how low to fly. It would know exactly where to go. For a person driving that shit, there's 1,000 things that they could fuck up.
How about you give me both? Give me a hybrid. Have a person plus the autonomous backing up the person, and the person does something wrong, the autonomous takes over and fixes it right away. Something like that.
That would be super expensive, though.
Hey, listen, spare no expense when it comes to this, as far as I can see.
I think an autonomous taxi would be awesome. I think an autonomous, But Jay, let's say it's an autonomous taxi, and but let's say it has an emergency button where if something's going wrong, you press the button, and just like a drone, it'll come down and land softly at the bottom. You never know.
Yeah, something like that. But I remember Johnny Cab. And I remember Johnny Cab from Total Recall, and that did not work out too well.
Well, yeah, that's a movie. But this,
I don't care. Jack, we talk about it. Hollywood, what is it? Predictive programming.
Yeah, but not everything is predictive. The predictive programming there is that there's going to be flying vehicles.
You're
I
in
think
a
it's
Johnny
awesome,
cab.
though. I really do.
Hope you enjoy the ride.
Oh, I will, but not if there's people are not ready for that. People are just not ready for it.
God. Oh man, go ahead. What do we have next? What else is going on? What else do we have that what could possibly go wrong?
Well, Lauren Boebert's son was arrested on child sexual exploitation charges. Apparently,
yes.
So that's I mean, it's a sad thing because I mean, I don't like her or hate her. I nothing her. And the fact that her son, I mean, that's rough stuff. I mean, he did horrible things, apparently, multiple felony charges of sexual exploitation of a child, including inducing and enticement, possession with intent to distribute, and video related counts, plus 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Here's what it says. It says the charges stem from a 2024 incident. What?
Yeah.
You've got to be shitting me, dude. You've got to. They charged him for this. This I don't agree with. This I do not agree with. Okay? I do not agree with. Listen to this. The charges stem from a 2024 incident. Okay? When Tyler, who was 18, filmed a 43-second sex video with his 17-year-old girlfriend. That's where the charges are coming from. They're saying he sexually exploited her when they both agreed to film it, but since she's 17 and he's 18 in 1 day, she's 17 in 364 days. That is why now he's getting, I guess he's getting not only child exploitation, but possibly lifetime registered sex offender charges. I mean, what is that? Jay, this is what I say when there's got to be discretion. You got to use discretion.
Well, he's had issues before this. I think that he's been on their radar and probably looking.
Yeah,
but
but this is different. This is
fucked
fucked up.
Saying probably looking for it to nail this guy, and they.
This
did.
is something that follows you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is,
and I mean,
why you should be careful.
Jay, have you ever filmed a sex video with a girlfriend or a wife?
Never in my life. Are you kidding me?
Well, then you're just weird then. But
Never.
I have. And,
never have.
And you're just weird, Jay. That's
no,
weird.
I never have, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you anyway. Go ahead.
But no, I have no problem. I have before, but I would never think that with my girlfriend or fiance or wife, whatever, that just because I'm 18 and she's 17, they got that sex video that we filmed together, they're gonna charge me with child exploitation and child. That's just unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. This is, I mean, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for her. And I feel sorry for Lauren, honestly, because this is the kind of shit that puts a stain on your life that you never get back. Jay, you only get one life, okay? And this right here is going to stain it for the rest of his life.
Yeah, could very well. Absolutely. But at the same time, dude, not you, him. Hey, bro, be careful. He's had issues, Jack, before this, and he's got problems.
When you're 18, though, and you got a 17-year-old girlfriend, you're young, you make mistakes. You got a hot 17-year-old girlfriend. You don't think, hey, this would be sexy for us to film this video, but they're gonna charge me with child exploitation in 2 years. That's insane. The cops that did this, I'd like to know who they are.
Listen,
or the DA, whoever charged him.
If Lauren Boebert was a Democrat, would this be happening?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. This is being used. This is political persecution is what it is.
Well, that's another thing. Your mother's a congresswoman, a lightning rod congresswoman.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted, bro. That comes with it. It does. And I'm not saying
even
it's right.
So, though,
but
this
it does.
is still wrong. It's still wrong.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying you got to be smarter.
Yeah, but he's 18. You got to think when you're 18, not only are you going to make mistakes, but you're also, even if you think you have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, you're not going to think that you and your girl who's like 2 months younger than you, that you're going to get child sex charges because of that. You're just not going to think about it, even if you have all your I's and T's crossed. That is ridiculous.
But in a way, Jack, I also blame her. Like Lauren Boebert. Get your son and be like, you can't be messing around. You need to do everything right. And I know you can't control him 24/7. Yeah, but it's on her too.
The thing is, this is not an illegal act, what he did. Well, so I mean, even if he's doing it, even if him and his girlfriend are doing it, it's not an illegal act. What they do, though, is they take a law that's meant for something else, and they use it to persecute their political opponents. And in this case, what looks good if you're trying to get Lauren Boebert out of office, Jay?
That's what I'm
Lauren
saying.
Boebert's son charged with child sex crimes. That looks good as a headline.
That's what I'm saying. And she knows that. And she's got to, I mean, I don't know the relationship with her and her son. Her son, as we know, as I said, has had problems. Like at a certain point, Lauren Boebert, get your kid under control and tell him, stop messing around with anything. In fact, I need you to tell me if you need to tell me everything. I don't care what it is.
This is a thing that, a lot of people do when they're young. They like to, explore, do whatever. This is something that under any other circumstance would not even be thought about. In fact, most DAs, even with political persecution, would not charge this person with such a thing because they know what it does to their lives. But it's ridiculous. It's angering. It's irritating. It's horrible. And I hope I hope the DA gets what's coming to him, honestly, because you don't use your power for this kind of nonsense. You don't do that to kids.
Well, that's politics, and
Yeah.
it's dirty and it's disgusting.
And this
it's
guy was a
politics.
child, man. He was 18. He was a child.
Tyler Boebert is his name.
Yeah.
2022, careless driving, ticketed for careless driving causing bodily injury after flipping his father's SUV into a creek. Passenger was injured, later reduced to via plea to defective vehicle headlight citation. February 2024, vehicle break-ins, identity theft, arrested by rifle police in Garfield County in connection with a series of vehicle trespass and theft. 2025, the child abuse and neglect misdemeanor, cited for misdemeanor child abuse and neglect after an incident in which his young son, Lauren Boebert's grandson, wandered away unsupervised from a family home.
Well, see, this is not illegal, though, what happened here.
Well,
this was just a consensual act between two people.
I'm just saying, but yeah, the age difference is the problem. The age is the issue.
The age difference is like 2 months difference,
Yeah.
like a 2-month difference.
Again, this kid, Jack, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. And he's an idiot.
I mean, this is not an idiotic thing. It's something that all kids do. They
yeah.
weaponized
if my kid did this and
against
jeopardized
him.
my career, I'd smack the hell out of him. I'm going to say it right now.
Jay, most of the time you're not going to know about it. This is a sexual thing that people that are 18, 19 do. And I mean, everybody's probably done something like that. But it's not his fault that they weaponized it against him. That was his girlfriend. They were 2 months apart. It's nothing. What they do is they search for they find the person, then they find the crime. They don't arrest someone for the crime. They find the person, then they find the crime.
Well, how about this then? After the 2022 careless driving, he's getting wrapped in the head. After 2024, he's getting wrapped in the head.
Again, that has nothing to do with this.
After 2025, he's getting wrapped in the head. Maybe if something was done maybe prior to this, maybe this doesn't happen. I don't know.
This is not an illegal act, though, is what I'm saying. Nothing would have stopped this. It's not an illegal act.
Well, it is an illegal act. Under the law, he broke the law. By the letter, he broke the law.
Yeah, but nothing is ever charged by that kind of bullshit. And this will be dismissed. A judge will never take this case. It'll never happen.
They won't. Maybe they won't.
No, I know for a fact they won't, because you have to have her consent also, because they're going to want her to testify. And if they're 2 months apart, whatever it is, it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
I'm going to ask, who brought the charges? Who brought the charges?
We got to go, Jay. We got to go. All right, guys. So make sure you guys check out maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. Scan the QR code at the top right or go to maxassociates.etsy.com. Also, guys, make sure you check out the book By Design, The First Black President. I'm telling you, if you've ever wanted to see the entire story of what went on for his rise, you actually get to experience his rise with him. All the backroom deals, the corruption, the conspiracies, and all the bad networks, everything that got him to where he is, from the start of his CIA grandfather to his spouse, the birth certificates, the kids. You will get to see every single thing in a political thriller novel. SecretAmericaLive.com or Amazon. It's got all 5 stars on Amazon. It's got over 20 reviews already. It only came out 2 weeks ago. It's got over 20 reviews already, and they are all 5 stars. So check it out. By Design, The First Black President. Also, guys, make sure you check out the Secret America gear. You can go to Secret America Live for that, or it's also on maxassociates.etsy.com. Some really cool stuff. You know, you see that shirt right there where it's got Jay and I on there, Secret America, and it's got all the, it's just really cool. A lot of really cool, interesting stuff. The candle is vanilla, smells great. I personally love it. So, you know, just a lot of really cool stuff. And make sure you guys follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Instagram. It is Secret America TV. That is the name for every single one of these places. Secret America TV, X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Instagram. Follow us. We are live every single weekday. So make sure you guys check us out. You will not regret it. All right, Jay, I think we've solved all the problems we can for one day. So for Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.